Okay, greetings. This is Edward Ojambo. In this tutorial, I will review Geany IDE as a coding editor. Now, before we begin, I just want to show you something interesting here. If you see, when you go to ojambo.com, you go to watch live, and then you can you see this is what's live right now. So as I said, starting basically today, well, yeah, really yesterday, whatever live stream is, you'll be able to just go to live there. And I'm gonna add up a laptop 5, so then at the end of today there will probably be maybe 3. So you simply go there, you click on it, it'll take you to the article. And what will happen with the article is that there will be a message at the top for streaming, how you can participate live. And then what will happen is the video way down here, the video here will actually be the video for the actual live stream. So I'm a little bit late because there was some drama. There was power outages, power surges, siding coming off, but so it's a little bit late, but that's what will happen going forward. So again, so let's get started with this today's tutorial. So it will be brought to you by ojamboshop.com, learning courses for JavaScript, PHP, and Python. So this the future. This is for the future tutorial, so that's actually not needed. I thought I was going to do the diff, but that's a future tutorial. So let's get started here. So Geany is a lightweight. It's not Java based. That's actually wrong. It's integrated programming IDE. It's free, open source, and cross-platform. So I'm going to change this. Actually, I should change it right now while we're here. So let's go to the. Actually, that's not the one I want. Geany. Let's quick edit here. I'm going to edit it so then we can. Because I don't like this saying Java based. It's not Java based. So I'll say it's a lightweight. Yeah, lightweight. Update, and if we do this now, you will see. Oops, it's not finished yet. Come on. Yeah, lightweight. That's better. So it's a lightweight, integrated programming environment. Okay, so I'm going to. Basically, you can get Geany from this URL here. It's also in the. It's also in the references for this article at the bottom. So as you can see, this is the homepage for Geany. So you can download the latest version as the time of recording is 2.00, which I do have installed locally in my Linux system. As I said, it's cross-platform, as you can see, for Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. It's very fast and small. It comes with a whole bunch of stuff. For example, of course, if you donate here for open source, you go here to download, see these third-party packages. You can get nightly builds and themes. So I want to go to themes for a second. You can see there's different themes available. There's ABC Dark, and there's so many light themes and all this here. So this is important, especially when you're a code editor. I personally prefer the dark theme, especially because I do work sometimes at night, but sometimes late, even in the morning, especially in the cold climate up here in Soviet Kazakhstan. So, and then there's also, you can go here to third party, say the third party. So for example, I'm on Linux, I'm on Fedora, so I just use DNF install Geany. So this is these app images, and there's a portable version for Windows, and you see it's also for the BSDs, free BSD, NetBSD, and OpenBSD. And also there's also plugins. So we'll go to releases. So here we go. So under releases, you see there's Windows for 64-bit, Mac OS, and there's also the plugins here. You can see Geany plugins. That's the one I want to go to. So I believe the Mac OS version somewhere here it says, I think it comes with all the plugins by default. I read it somewhere. I might be wrong. At least because last time I checked. Okay, so as you can see here, Geany does come with some plugins shipped to the class builder, export file browser, HTML character, save actions, and split window. that comes shipped with Geany. And so currently Geany, as I was right, at least the plugins are written in C, Lua, and Python, or a combination of both. So if you want more information about the plugins, it will tell you where to go. So that is and of course, as I said, you should contribute because it's a free open source project, and here's its license. Sorry, this license is only for the content here, but the license is, I put it here somewhere, you will be able to see where it is. So in order to follow along, obviously, for this tutorial, you can just sit back and enjoy it, or you can get it yourself. So that would be the code editor, the IDE, and plugins and themes. If you don't understand what those are, they're all here. So what a theme is basically preset package containing graphical appearance to customize the look and feel. What's a plugin? Software component that adds specific functionality. And so basically this is my system. Yes, I know it's old. It's 2011, but it still works pretty fine. This is how much memory I have. I said I'm using Fedora. It's obviously 64-bit, NOM 47. And so this is the testing system, or the test suite. So I'm going to test opening a large file. It's 1 gig. Then we'll do some regex, check the syntax, and then try to open up some type of a media file, basically a bitmap image. And this is the Java version I've installed, this PHP version I've installed, Python I've installed on my system, and this is the Geany version 2.0. So the reason for this is just to see if it can compile or interpret some files, which hint it will. And then these are the scoring I used for explanation of the test scoring, and we'll go through all of this as well. So as you can see, if you want a quick summary, basically Geany got an 8.25 out of 8.25 out of 10, or 82.5%. Okay, so let's go over Geany. So I'm going to install. I'm going to start another instance of Geany. Okay, so if you're on Linux, you just type Geany space -i, and that should take care of that. You see how fast it load up? Hopefully it loads up on that screen. Yeah, it's already up. So you see here, it says this is a brand new Geany instance. So the reason I want to do this is I just want to show you what the default version of Geany looks like when you get it. So obviously it's using my theme, my desktop theme. Oh, I forgot to mention this. Be sure to subscribe, like, follow, comment for more frequent content. And every day I'll be hosting a live stream. Visit ojambo.com for details. You can scroll down the photo to see the channels, but you don't need to do that. You just click on the watch, and it will show you the upcoming live streams, including where they'll be. So and I said each article, like I showed you earlier, it will have where the channels are, so you can just click there and you can join live. Okay, so this is Geany. You see, it always opens up with untitled here, so you can start typing, and then you can you can click save. So this is just a quick overview before I actually go to review. So in the file here, you can see new, and there's some templates. You see here, there's HTML. This HTML5, this is the one I created myself. And you see this file, PHP file, RB, that stands for Ruby, and text, and text, and C, C++, D, Java, MD, Python, Vala, I think Erlang, and Pascal. Okay, and then of course you can see the recent files. So this, you might be familiar with this. These are all the files that, because it's using the sim configurator file as my normal version of Geany, and you can reload as you can see the different the language or the character sets. So I just use the default. I believe it's UTF-8, and it's I'm not sure which one of this would be Yeah, I'm not sure which one it is. So then you can go to page setup. This is for printing and stuff. Right now I don't have the printer connected, so you can print, of course. And you see here, when you go to edit, you have the usual undo, redo, paste, select all, and you can see commands. You can make some specific commands where you can cut lines, meaning multiple lines, copy multiple lines, delete multiple lines, delete a line or a selection. So this does have multiple selections. Yeah, it does have multiple selections. So select paragraph, line up, move line up. So these are all those shortcuts. This is the reason that you can send the selection to the terminal. And format, you see join lines, reflow lines. You have all these comment lines. So this is really handy, especially when you're working with something like PHP or Python or Bash scripting. You can just comment lines quickly. You select all of them and you click on that, and you can increase the intent. So this is usually if you're doing formatting for specific needs. For example, I used to take advantage of this when I used to have I used to order from Walmart, and then this is a long time ago when they started doing, at least here in Canada, they started doing the online groceries for pickup. So I wanted to get a copy of my what I've ordered. So I'll just make it text. I'll just and then I'll do this and send it to my phone. That way I'll have a copy. The reason I did this is because I didn't want to print things out all the time. It was just a waste of paper. So this way I had it. And I know you're going to say, well, check your email. Back then, for some reason, Google didn't do a very good job with the PDF. So when they send me the receipt as a PDF, this is what I would do, and smart indent and send selection to. So here you can create your own custom. You can add your own custom commands to do specific things. Do that. I don't really use that anymore, but that's for you. So then obviously you can insert a date. You can see the date format here. You can create your own custom date format. Insert alternative to white space. So for example, I'm more old school. I think tab used to be about 5 spaces or so, but obviously this code so long, you can change it maybe to 2 spaces or 3 spaces, especially for something like, say, Python. And preferences. So preferences, this is probably the screenshot you saw. So you have the general, the startup. You can change all this here, miscellaneous, and the interface here. So you can hide the sidebars, the font, the default font, because it's a coding editor, it's using a monospace. That's fine. I'm okay with that. So when we go to notebook pads, I don't think I just leave all this as default. And editor, I do like line wrapping. It's on by default, which I leave. You can do code folding, which I do take advantage of as well, because obviously I'm a programmer. And then this part, I've used this on NetBeans, Apache NetBeans. I haven't done this one here, but this is pretty good, where you can afford everything with all nested children as well. So this is a feature. I haven't tested this, but I'm glad to see it here. And this is an old school one with line breaking at column 82. So I don't really care about this because I have line wrapping. So if, for example, if here you see the line will go over this this is really old. I think they should just move that. But I guess it's there for really old, for all time's sakes. Okay, and then we have indentation. As I say I changed it to 3. I think it's default now. I'm not sure if I changed this. Yeah. Because I said before I used to use 5, some people use more, but yeah, that's fine. I prefer it to tabs to spaces. The reason I don't use spaces is because, especially when I was learning how to program in different languages, is that we copy some things and they would have space, sometimes tabs. It's confusing, so I just prefer tabs. And then it also makes it easy for you to do regular expressions. So I see your completions here. So completion means when you type something, it will complete for you. For example, like when you do, what's an easy one? Like if you do an if statement with a block, the squiggly line. So when you type one squiggly line, it will end up for you. It will do the closing one. Or for example, parentheses, the opening one, and then it close it up for you. Or square brackets. So things like that. And you can see here, you can also auto close if you want. That's for completion. And then display, show line numbers. So, you know, you can check and check. You have to hit apply for it to show, to make the change there. And long line marker is enabled. You see the column here. That's fine. And then there's a little line. I usually ignore it because I always type super long lines. So that's under display. And we go to files and then open new documents from command line. Oh, I didn't have that feature, so that's great. Oh yeah, I'm guessing from a command line you can type Geany and then name of the file. Yeah, I do that sometimes, so that's good. It looks like it's on by default. Ensure new line at file end. So I dislike this, so I'm gonna actually uncheck it. So what this does is, let's say you have 10 lines. If you hit save, it will make it 11 lines. I don't like that feature. So I'm going to hit apply. I'm glad that you can actually control it now. That's great. So tools. So under tools, you see it uses Xterm. That's a very basic terminal because it's on Linux. And then the default browser is Firefox. Of course, you can change it to whatever you want because I do have Firefox and I do have grep installed. And then you can also have your own context action if you want, but I'm okay with this. I used to use this in the past when, for example, I had to test for IE. People probably know this IE5 and IE6. So I would have this to open up in different, especially when you're working on a website. See what does it look like in IE6 and IE5 and all that. So yeah, pretty old. Okay, so templates. So you can see here the developer name and the email address. So this, you will see this when we actually open up one of the templates. You can see the date and time here, so you can change this if you want. Just pay attention to this. You see the initial is E and the developer is Edward. And the key bindings, as you can see, how to open. And let me see if you can make your own custom ones. Or you can change them. So I guess these are hard-coded. You can change them. I see some are missing here, so you can create your own. And printing, we briefly talked about that. So you can see print line numbers. This is actually very good. I used to use this for printing when I had to print some code when I was learning. When I copy paste, so it's pretty good for that. And then that's a terminal. I didn't know I had some. Oh, so you have the monospace, that's fine. And various actions. So there you go. So let me see how much time it's been. Okay, it's been, well, time is past, and of course they search. We're gonna look into this when we do the other part of the review. So view here, we already talked about this. Zoom in, see, zoom in out. It's on Linux, at least it's Control ++. On my system, I have to use Shift as well, so it's Control Shift. This is actually wrong on Linux. I'm guessing it works fine on Windows. On Mac, it'll probably be Command, and zoom out does work fine. Normal size is Control 0, and I don't think this works as well. I will try it out. And then full screen is F1, and we already talked about that. And the project and the build, this is actually really awesome. We'll test this later. And the tools, you see color chooser, word count, spell check, and all this. So if we go back to edit plugin preferences, you see the plugins that are, for example, spell check. Okay. Oops. Just have to close this before you can. Yeah, so if we go back to edit plugin preferences, so this is for spell check. See everything here. I believe this is the only plugin I have. Yeah, that's the only plugin I have. So if you go to tools, plugin manager, and you can see, so I haven't enabled, remember when we were on the Geany website, it said that, for example, the class beta is shipped by default, but I haven't enabled it. The only one I've enabled is the spell check here. I didn't need the file browser. Actually, I'm wondering is I'm actually gonna enable the file browser because this might actually change the score. I'm gonna see if that allows, and of course you can click the preference here, or you can go, so then we close. If I go back to edit here, and we go to plugin preferences, you see now there's the file browser here. So, it uses Netlist, that's fine. Okay, so we'll apply, that's fine. Okay, so what, down here too, as you can see the terminal here. So right now, you can also, if we go back to the terminal settings, we go to preferences, If you go to terminal, they have a feature where you can follow the path to the current file. So I'm gonna enable that. Okay, and you see what will happen later. Okay, so let's begin the actual review. So I'm gonna show you the test suite. So we have two files here. These are two binary files. I have a 1 gig text file. I have this test Java file. I think I have to call it yeah. And then I have the what do you call it, test PHP file and a Python file and a regex file. So just to prove to you that this file is really 1 gig, you see down here it says 1.5 gig. So just to prove to you that it's actually just a text file, these are both text files. I'll just go to the command line and I'll just do a tail, meaning the bottom. So I'll say 1G, capital G. So you can see it's just text. So it's not a binary file at all, it's just text. Some random text. Okay, so if I'm actually going to split the window here so you can see Geany. So the first feature is the theme. I've already showed you how you can change the themes there, so that's why that got a 1. So dragging and dropping. So for example, I'm going to take this text file, the regex file, and just dump it here. You see, you can simply drag and drop and you see what happened here. So that's simple enough. Then opening a very large text file. So watch what happens. So this is a very large text file. So when I open it, I just realized maybe I should have recorded that. Yeah, so this is what happens. It doesn't crash, at least not right away, and I can wait. So I already know it's not going to work. So what I'll do is I'll do a force quit. And you see, it actually does go away. I force quit, so that's fine. So I'll restart it again. It's already up. I'll just drag it from that monitor here. So that's why it got that score. Obviously, you can have multiple files, and you see one of the bad things here is it doesn't remember. When it went down, it doesn't remember the files. I guess that's because it crashed or quit. It actually does when you put them there. So for example, if I open up that text file, so I'll open up the Java file as well. Okay, so here's the Java file. So you're able to open multiple files. That's great. But one of the problems you can't do is you can't position them. So for example, this test PHP, if I want to position the second one or the first, it won't let me. And you see, I can't actually drag it up here. I have to drag it right into the editing part here for it to open. And you see, then it opens, it appends it at the end. Okay, spell check does work. I'll prove it to you. Let's go back to the text file. You can see here it's already highlighted. So I'll give you, I don't know what version of and you see this empty line here because it kept on saving an empty line, which I found annoying. So let's go to, let me see the word color. I don't know if that's okay. So this is the American way of spelling color. If I right click on it, spelling suggestion, you see it puts it in the Canadian version of spelling color. That's fine. And now if let's see if it actually changed my, so if I save, yeah, okay, so it did remember the settings where I remember it didn't put when I hit save, it did not create a new empty line, so that's great. So word count is automatic. If you actually look down here, it will tell you that I'm on the 12th line, 6 columns, and etc., etc. So word count. So for example, the word color is a character count. Well, actually, let me pick this line. So if we go to tools and we go to word count, so it says here that there's 11 words and 68 characters. I have no reason to doubt it. So let's count it. Let's say it's 11 words. Is it really 11 words? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 11. Yeah, that's great. So that's great. That was useful for specific things I used to do in the past. And then obviously you can also go to line. So for example, right now I'm on line 12. There's actually I think it's Control L. Let's say I want to jump to line 2. Actually, let me zoom in here a little bit. Okay, there we go. So if I want to go, actually, let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, I want to zoom out a little bit to keep the lines the same. So for example, if I want to go to line, say line 2, so it's Control L. So I want to go to line 2. Now you see, it went to line 2. So that works. You can also do a line jump, indentation, of course. You saw how to indent there. Fonts can be, I just scale them as you just saw. Find and replace. So we're gonna replace Geany with let's say editor. So I'm gonna copy that. Or just highlight it and go to edit. And where is, am I crazy? It should be, oh, search. So there's find next, find previous, and replace. So we want to replace. So by default, you see, I don't have to use the regular expression. This is a very simple, find and replace. Now I can also do a regular expressions. I'm going to enable regular expressions. So I'm going to find the word Geany, and then so what I'll do is I'll be greedy, everything up to the word Y, and we're going to replace it with let's say asset editor. So we're going to change it with editor. So if I say in document or in selections, I'll do in document, and in session means, let's say I have 3 files open now, that will be what the session is. If in document, only this document, and obviously selection, whatever I've selected. So let's say in document, and you see change this to editor, and the others are also which was changed to editor. So you see this one is GEAN, this one was left alone, and I think somewhere else I had a lowercase. I don't remember where it was, so let's undo. Yeah, the lowercase was here because I guess I did a greedy search, but that's how. Go back here. Case sensitive. So I guess it was case insensitive, and it was multi-line as well. So I'll switch that off. So you can see that irregular expressions do work, and I just did a very simple one. You can do obviously complex ones. We did word count. I showed you indentation. I showed you that. Where are we now? Multiple language. So if you notice here, this is Java. So let me zoom in here. So this is Java. You can see it. The syntax was fine, and then here we have a PHP, and that's also fine. You see it got the syntax highlighting correctly. I'll show you multiple selection. The easiest way to do that is in the text file. So I probably need to zoom out just a little bit. Yeah, I want it to be on the same line. So let's say I want this 3 COL, 3 characters. So it's Control Shift. You see that? It now it's selected there. You see what happened here. So that's the multiple selection. No, not multiple selection. A rectangular block selection. That's what I meant. Sorry, I confused them. Multiple selection. It looks like it's available, but it doesn't really work because I'm not able to. For example, if I want to grab this Geany, and this one, and only replace them, it doesn't. It doesn't work. So it's that's why it got a 0 here. So distraction free mode, I showed you how you can hide the line numbers and all other features. So you just go to view, and you see, for example, you can get rid of the markers, the line numbers, and all this, including the message thing down here. And okay, now we're going to test the file. We tested the file manager for dragging and dropping. Now I'm going to try, I think what did not work is, let's say we have a file. So for example, we haven't done a Python one. So let's say my folder is called PyTest. Okay, so PyTest, I'm going to copy this file and put it in here. You see PyTest. Now if I take PyTest and dump it here, you see it doesn't open up the PyTest. You see here, it only has this. So for let me try to dump it here, for example. You'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, see, it doesn't work. I can't drag it in here. I thought the file manager, yeah, weird. So yeah, so that doesn't work. Now you see we have images as well. Obviously, see the image don't show up in here. So if I want to drag an image here, it doesn't work. If I drag an image here, okay, you might say, okay, that's because AVF files are too new. Fair enough. Let's check a JPEG. It doesn't work. At least it doesn't crash, so that's fine. With the terminal. So if you remember, we opened up the Java and the PHP file. So if we go down here to the terminal, and you see it's in test suite. So it did follow, you see here, it's CD into the folder. So we can run things as well. So for example, one good thing about this, you see this is Java. Actually, I'll do PHP, that's the easy one. So first we just go to build and execute. And you see here, it ran it. And obviously we can also do it from the command line here. So test.php, and you see it will also run here. Now, when we have Java, so with Java, I believe you have to compile first. So you see the message, there's nothing wrong here, then we should be able to execute. And you see, it executed the Java as well. So that's perfect. And of course, you can also run it on the command line. You have to go to terminal and then do the same thing here. So Python, so we're just going to drag our Python file in here. Let me zoom in so you can see. Oops, we're zooming in the wrong place. Okay, there we go. Zoom in. Okay, too much. Okay, so this is our Python file, of course, because it's also a script. So you just go to build, and you should just be able to execute, and you see it does the same things executing here. And then obviously you can also run it on command line. So I say Python and test.py, and you see here it is running as well on the command line. So so this is why it's an IDE, is that it has all this built in as well. Now if I had HTML, it would automatically open HTML, to open up this in Firefox. If I change it to whatever your favorite web browser is, it will also work. So I think that's the end of the preview of Geany, and I said I do love this little flyweb IDE, and I do use it, as you can tell, when I went to the recent files. It does do that. The thing I don't use is the projects and stuff. It actually does a pretty good job with some source code management, like Git, and maybe we'll come back to this in the future. But as you can see, it does work extremely well. So that's Geany, and here's the test suite. And we'll go back to the article here. As you can see, it's a very powerful IDE. Before we continue, I just want to remind you to subscribe, like, follow, and comment for more frequent content. Every day, I'll be hosting a live stream. Visit ojambo.com for details. You can simply go up here to watch live, and then you can join the future dated ones. It will show you the time, as you can see down there. The time is also shown, and then yeah, you'll be able to join live, or you'll be able to prepare to see when the live events are. Okay, back to this. As I said, so this scored 8.25 out of 10, and you can see this, some of the screenshots I took, and see this is the live stream. You see here it is on Odyssey. So this is actually live right now. So you're able to, if you wanted to join live, you'll be able to to participate live and leave comments. So as I said, that Geany is open source. It's licensed under the GNU General Public License version 2. It's a copyleft license. If you don't know what that means, it means that there's strict rules to ensure the software remains free and open source. So you can read up more on it. If you need help, you can let me know. I can help you navigate that. Okay, and yeah, so that's the end of the coding of the review of Geany. If you enjoy this, be sure to so excuse me. let me start again. So much going on here. If you enjoyed this, consider supporting me. Purchase one of my WordPress plugins at ojambo.com. Enroll in my programming courses at ojamboshop.com. Buying my programming books on Amazon, search for Edward Ojambo, links in the description. Hiring me for your programming and app development needs at ojamboservices.com. Becoming a donor at ojambo.com/donate. So the donate button is actually here in the header. You see in the header, it's available on every single page. It's down here. And you can also click in the article and here references for everything. You see Geany's here, the plugin, all the courses and the books, and the Ojambo services. So that's the end, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.